Today, we're diving deep into one of those ancient stories that just echoes through time. It's all about promises that seem impossible, a total identity shift, and a permanent physical sign that would mark a people forever. Yep, we're talking about the everlasting covenant in Genesis 17. So let's start with a number, 99. Seriously, put yourself there for a second. You're 99 years old. You've seen it all. You've done it all. What kind of promise could someone make to you that would completely upend your future? Well, that's exactly where we find our main character, a man named Abram. So at 99, Abram gets a visitor, and it's not just anyone. The text says God appears, introducing himself as the Almighty God, and he lays out this incredible promise, saying, I will make my covenant between me and you, and will make you exceedingly numerous. Whoa, this is way more than just a friendly chat. This is a divine announcement. And how does Abram react to this? Does he argue, ask for details? Nope. The text is so simple and powerful. It just says he fell on his face. It's this immediate act of pure awe, of total submission. He gets it. In that moment, he knows that everything is about to change. Now, that word covenant is absolutely key here. This is not a simple one-way promise. You should think of it more like a foundational treaty, a sacred, binding contract. It comes with obligations for Abraham and everyone who comes after him, for sure. But it also comes with these massive guarantees from God that are going to ripple out for generations to come. So what's the first sign of this new deal? It's not an object or a ceremony. It's a fundamental change of identity. God basically gives Abram and his wife Sarai a complete rebrand, handing them new names to match the new destiny he has in store for them. And these name changes really show you the scale of what's happening. Abram, which means exalted father, a pretty respectable title, right? Becomes Abraham, father of many nations. His whole identity just explodes from being a respected family head to the ancestor of countless kings and nations. And his wife, Sarai, becomes Sarah, which means princess, a title that fits the future mother of royal lines perfectly. Okay, so you've got a promise that lasts forever and a brand new identity. How do you seal that deal? How do you make sure an agreement this big is never forgotten? Well, God says this covenant needs a permanent, physical symbol, a sign that Abraham and all his male descendants will carry with them. The logic laid out in the text is pretty straightforward. First, you have this everlasting covenant. Second, something that lasts forever needs lasting proof, a physical token. Third, that token is declared to be the circumcision of every male. And the result? The covenant becomes, as the text says, written right there in their flesh. It's tangible and perpetual. Just when you think the promises couldn't possibly get any bigger or more unbelievable, God drops the absolute biggest bombshell of them all. He tells Abraham that the promised heir, the one who will carry this whole covenant forward, is going to be born to him and his 90-year-old wife, Sarah. And right here, we get this wonderfully human moment. The text says Abraham falls on his face again, but this time, he laughs to himself. You can almost hear him thinking, are you serious? A kid is going to be born to a 100-year-old man? And Sarah? Is Sarah at 90 actually going to have a baby? It's just this moment of very real, very private disbelief at how biologically impossible it all sounds. So in that moment of doubt, Abraham's mind immediately goes to his existing son, Ishmael. He's trying to be practical here. He pleads with God, oh, that Ishmael might live in your sight. He's looking for a solution that makes sense. But God makes it clear that while Ishmael will be blessed, the covenant itself is going to follow a very, very specific path. So the two sons are set on two different but amazing paths. Both get a divine blessing. Ishmael is promised that he will be fruitful, multiply, and become a great nation with 12 princes. That's a huge blessing. But that everlasting covenant, the central promise of this whole chapter, is established exclusively with Isaac, the son who is yet to be born to Sarah. So after all this, these incredible, almost unbelievable instructions and promises, what does Abraham do? Does he hesitate? Does he take some time to think it over? Not at all. The text drives home the immediacy of his obedience with this one simple and really powerful phrase. On that very same day, Abraham goes all in. At 99 years old, he is circumcised. He circumcises his 13-year-old son Ishmael. And he doesn't stop there. Every single male in his entire household, whether they were born there or bought, also receives the physical sign of the covenant. It is just this comprehensive, immediate, and profound act of faith. And that's how the chapter ends. But the story that it starts, well, that's still unfolding. It really leaves us with this massive question to think about. How does this ancient promise, this story about lineage and identity and physical signs, continue to shape everything from personal faith to global politics thousands of years later?